So
let's also put into the little mix there that Bob Arum had already booked a venue for that specific date before the arbitration result came out.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I was just about to come on to that. Bob Arum's popped up with a date, and we've also found out that he probably knew it was happening all along because he booked the venue.
I just think he was
confident.
Carl, I'm gonna have to come to you first. You're gonna have to give us your views because you'll tell
I
it.
wonder why that is. So, I watched an IFL interview today with Frank Warren, and it did put a slightly different slant on things where Warren was suggesting that the fact that Usyk would have actually thrown his toys out the pram should have that fight have been signed, and Usyk would have also put an injunction in place to stop the fight taking place. He throws a lot of doubt on Eddie Hearn's activities when he talks about jetting around the world, asking to see his passport, to see the stamp. Very disappointing. I'm amazed he allowed it to get as far as it did, especially Eddie Hearn. I think this has shown, I never thought I'd say this, but it's shown a little bit of naivety from Eddie Hearn to be announcing things so publicly when it's not actually over the line.
Yeah.
He don't normally get caught with his pants down like this. But do I think the fight will happen? I think it'll happen, but it won't unify their belts because they're gonna. I just think it's a very unfortunate situation. I'm amazed that Eddie Hearn's allowed it to happen. Maybe he got blinded by the romance of the event. I don't know. But the silence was deafening from Bob Arum and Frank Warren, wasn't it? It was Eddie Hearn doing all the talk. Eddie Hearn talking about it being signed. Eddie Hearn talking about it being confirmed. I think there's a case of Bob Arum and Frank Warren stiffing Eddie Hearn a little bit here. And another thing I don't really understand is Tyson Fury being ecstatic on Top Rank on Saturday night on the TV. Surely he'd be gutted, wouldn't he? He's earning a fraction of a purse from this next fight to what he would have earned.
Right.
So quite a lot doesn't stack up. Andy said, I think a lot was in place before it went public, before the court case. Bob Arum's a lawyer, for crying out loud. Bob Arum knew the way this was going. Come on. So overall, very disappointed. I think the fight still happens eventually, but it won't be for all the marbles. And it's unfortunate for other heavyweight boxers like Joe Joyce in this world. He's been hanging around for a year, waiting for the shakeout of this.
Joe Joyce, I'm high on him. I really like Joe Joyce. I think he definitely has a bright future, Joe Joyce.
Andy, I mean, I can tell you from the comments in the WhatsApp group, you're highly frustrated at this.
More than frustrated. To be honest with you, I was getting bored with the whole, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen?
He was, yeah.
I was getting completely sick of it, talking about it. We kept on chiking in on this show, on the Thursday night show about it almost every week, and it was getting a bit tedious. But it absolutely stinks here. It seems to me as though everybody knew what was happening here, apart from Eddie Hearn and Joshua.
Right.
Eddie Hearn was running around trying to do everything without the other two promoters doing anything. The fact that they stayed silent speaks volumes for the fact that they knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, Dave put something on the WhatsApp group about Tyson Fury's little video about him saying he spoke to the Saudis and the fight's agreed. Dave said at the time, and he got it spot on. He wasn't believing what Fury was saying, and it was as though Fury was putting it out there. So when the arbitration thing finally became public, none of the pressure would get put on him.
Yeah,
it's as though he was pretending like the fight was on when really he knew he was already signing the fight with Wilder. Within 24 hours, the arbitration comes out. Within another 24 hours, Tyson Fury is signing, live on stream, is signing the contract for Wilder. Fights don't get made like that. Will title fights don't get made in a day.
Yeah.
It's clear.
The whole thing stinks.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Probably just a way to keep his name, just to keep his name in the mix.
Saying that there's some shit talking, and I've got to agree with Mike. Somewhere down the line, people have they've lied to the fans, and it's the fans that are suffering. Yeah, exactly. The boxers are missing out on a huge payday, but considering these are two Brits in the ring, the British fans are missing out on some monumental history here.
That'd be huge over there.
I actually doubt this fight will ever happen now.
Yeah, I actually think it's going to happen at the end of the year.
You think that, Randy? Yeah, you think it's going to happen? You still think it's going to happen?
Yes, I do believe they will. I believe they both will get past their fights. I believe, my personal belief, they'll both get past their fights, and I do believe it'll happen at the end of the year.
Here's my concern. Eddie Hearn is very disgruntled, to say the least, with what's gone on. He's been made to look a complete mug.
Yeah.
And he clearly knows that the other two of him have been talking behind his back, plotting behind his back. He's got no trust now. If he had any trust at all anyway, he's never got on with Frank Warren. But the trust is completely gone. How do those promoters make a fight when they don't trust each other?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And the war continues. No crossing the street. I'm not gonna let my fighter fight yours because you fight for the other company.
I'm not a massive fan of Undisputed, and then one fighter keeping all the belts for forever. I like to see an undisputed world champion at one level to prove who's the best. But then I like to see the belts get dropped, get split up, and let everybody fight for them again. You know, it's more entertaining for the fans. But there's a reason there's not been a undisputed heavyweight champion for the best part of 25, 30 years. There's too much politics in boxing. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Too many stars have to align perfectly just for the fight to happen.
And Cedric, we'll have to comment to you on your views and how it is stateside. I mean, you know, what are your views on Wilder on this? Because he seemed to be quietly confident all along. And obviously, a contract's a contract.
One quick connection. We're Canada side, not state side, but we're right beside. We're right beside.
Yeah, but you know, it's still.
We're literally. To be honest, we're literally. We can walk to the border from our house to get to Detroit. That's how close we are. So, but this officially we are in Canada. From what I understand, they had the rematch clause, and then the deadline passed for it. Correct, and so. That's why Fury was just like, all right, the deadline passed. He didn't say nothing, so we're moving on. And then, Wilder was like, whoa, wait a second. I don't know if you heard, but there's something called COVID that shut the whole world down. And so that's kind of the reason why we didn't respond, assuming that we need a big crowd for this fight. And I think the arbitrator just agreed with the person on Wilder's side, saying, you can't just say he passed the deadline when the whole world was locked down. And so that's how the mix-up happened. But they shouldn't have been stringing the fans along like that. As Michael joins us, how are you, Mr. Orr?
What's going on, Jack? How you doing?
I'm great.
I just read your comment, mate. I just read your comment, so you might as well give us your views on it then.
Yeah. Honestly, I think what's happening.
Edited version.
The edited version?
Yeah. We're on Canadian time.
Yeah, Canadian time, right? Honestly, I think it hasn't been just a big waste of time for the fans, but think about the big waste of time for the people that have been sitting and waiting for this fight to happen, as in the fighters, right? We got, Joyce, you got White, you got all of them who have been sitting and waiting for this fight to happen so that they could take their fights. And now that this has all gone to shit, honestly, I think there was a lot of shit talking going on. They knew what was going to happen, and they just strung us along for the hell of it.
Just a way to keep their names in the public, in the public mouth, keep all the shows talking about them.
Exactly.